In today's digital world, uptime is money, and issues can cost millions. That's why over 13,000 companies and more than 60 of the Fortune 100 rely on PagerDuty to identify issues and automate responses for fast resolution. Yeah, like that. Keep your business always on, customers happy, and protect your bottom line. PagerDuty, ready for anything in a world of digital everything.
Today's presentations contain forward-looking statements. These statements represent our belief and assumptions today. The full Safe Harbor statement is available on the Terms of Use page of the PagerDuty website.
All right, everyone, we're heading into back-to-back general sessions, starting with Go Digital First with Modern Digital Operations Management with our very own Jennifer Tejada. Immediately following, we'll have a fireside chat on the shift to digital with Kim Hammonds and David Solomon. Then digital operations everywhere with Sean Scott and leaders from Trimble, Discovery, and we'll finish with a run with another fireside chat on customer experience with Jonathan Rende and Clara Shih. Now take it away, Jennifer.
Welcome to PagerDuty Summit. This week, we convene people across the PagerDuty community for the largest global gathering we have ever hosted. Thank you to our customers, our partners, our employees, and everyone for attending today and this week. Over the next few days, you'll hear from industry leaders redefining how we live, learn, and work. And you'll meet digital experts advancing their organization's goals through innovative applications of the PagerDuty platform. You'll come away with actionable learnings, best practices, and new ideas for how PagerDuty will change the way your team and your business operate. The last year and a half has been frequently described as unprecedented. And in fact, we've all been operating without precedent. But for those of you who own digital management at your companies, operating without precedent is your standard operating procedure. Before the upheaval of the pandemic, your teams managed the digital front lines. Today, you face increasing complexity, data overload, and heightened security risk. Critical incidents are growing, on average 21% year over year. Each incident costs an average of $150,000 per year. One imperfect interaction in an on-demand world risks a permanent loss of trust. Today, 3 in 4 customers cite experience as a major factor in purchasing decisions. 1 in 3 say they would walk away from a brand they love after just one negative interaction. Your entire organization now realizes what we've known for years. Uptime is your bottom line. Uptime is money. At our summit last September, we launched PagerDuty's first solution specifically designed for customer service teams. Every month, we deepen our integrations with Zendesk, Salesforce, Slack, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams. We have 41% more customer service users on our platform than a year ago. Customer teams at DoorDash, Netflix, OutSystems, Okta, Cisco, and Zscaler all run on PagerDuty. Later today, we'll be joined by Clara Shih, CEO of Service Cloud at Salesforce, to explain how PagerDuty is empowering their teams to move more efficiently while improving customer satisfaction. You'll hear how Slack is connecting engineering and customer service teams with PagerDuty to identify incidents early and resolve them more quickly. You should tune in. I recently heard Mark Benioff say Slack will be kind of important to Salesforce moving forward. In 6 months, we moved from acquisition to activation with Rundeck, automating as much of the incident management lifecycle as possible. Revenue for our digital operations plan is up more than 90% since last year. Our event intelligence solution revenue is more than doubled. Today, we drive the digital operations of more than 60 of the Fortune 100 and over 40% of the Fortune 500. We're essential infrastructure for the world's most brilliant startups and for leaders in highly regulated industries like finance and healthcare who trust PagerDuty to ensure their most critical services remain resilient and highly available. Our largest customers are expanding their investments in PagerDuty at the fastest rate, growing 55% year over year. Organizations are increasingly utilizing our whole platform rather than single products or single use cases. More customers than ever are leveraging our services to ensure best practice adoption and quick time to value. The trend of digital acceleration is now just the way work gets done. Digital operations are the central driver of key business outcomes for customers, with PagerDuty as the central nervous system. As complexity and competition increase, PagerDuty's strategy anticipates your transformation. Our enterprise customers continue to increase their investments in digital acceleration, DevOps transformation, and cloud migration. And now, more than 75% expect to increase spend on AIOps in the next year and a half. Data volumes, complexity, and the pace of change are all accelerating, and modern businesses cannot wait on humans to derive insights and act. That's why we've invested and become the leader in this space. Our Invent Intelligence solution helps distributed DevOps teams identify critical incidents, resolve them quickly, and linked with our runbook automation from Rundeck, prevent those incidents from impacting customers. Cisco, Roblox, Qualys, Aruba Networks all use PagerDuty's Event Intelligence to both surface insight and automate action, and they've seen the reward. For IT teams, though, inflexible AIOps solutions have been slow to deliver ROI, with time to value calculated over years. Too often, these solutions have been narrowly focused on legacy infrastructure models, required complex integrations, and taken months of training. So domain-agnostic platforms have emerged as a standalone market. And these platforms, like PagerDuty, have the flexibility to ingest diverse data sets and integrate with an automation engine to identify underlying opportunities. AI that can't distinguish signal from noise will just overwhelm. And AI not connected to automation offers only insight, not action. PagerDuty is the first cloud-native modern operations platform to combine automation across observability, engagement, and action, with the ability to service diverse teams, including DevOps, ITOps, SRE, cybersecurity, and business leadership. Today, we are the leading digital operations company, the comprehensive platform for real-time work, and looking forward, the modern operations cloud for business. In a digital-first world, adaptability, flexibility, and velocity are central skills for your organization. And that's why PagerDuty is the single source of truth for all the cross-functional work that is urgent, mission-critical, and requires real-time results. And because we remain domain agnostic with more than 560 integrations, we can ingest the most diverse data in the market, empowering every team across your business for endless use cases. PagerDuty is uniquely positioned to meet the needs of today and tomorrow. Realizing this vision means embracing the trends that will drive the future, anticipating the greatest challenges, and solving them with solutions your teams love. Today, I'd like to focus on 3 themes we've seen across our customer base: resilience, connection, and automation. First, organizational resilience is the currency that earns the loyalty of your customers. In September, Andy Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, joined me to discuss this very topic. Availability builds trust between you and your customers. Without it, you have nothing. The problem is, being prepared for anything in a complex digital business is really hard. And that's why our product roadmap is focused on delivering flexibility. Our integration ecosystem has become the strategic hub for real-time work in large enterprises. The combination of APIs, our workflow engine, and 12 years of proprietary data enables distributed teams to swarm an increasingly diverse set of use cases across physical and digital infrastructure. We will continue to deliver flexibility, including low-code features, with the same speed and fidelity you've come to expect from us. 2 years ago, Fox Broadcasting broke ground on a state-of-the-art technology and operations center in Tempe, Arizona. The center supports additional broadcast platforms and higher video quality. It creates multiple paths of redundancy to ensure system resilience. It enables a proactive, self-healing operational approach, and it moves Fox to a predictive data approach with real-time machine learning. Whether you watch NFL football on Sundays or next year's World Cup, the team at Fox ensures your live streaming experience is delightful every time, anytime, anywhere in the world. And PagerDuty is the central nervous system of Fox's entire operation. Fox remains one of our most innovative customers, and I've been fortunate to work with the Fox leadership team, including CTO Paul Cheesbrough and EVP of Media and Broadcast Jeff Dow. Together, they've led the activation of one of the largest IP-based technology centers in the world, and I'm proud to welcome them both here today. Jeff is joining us live from the control room in Arizona. Jeff, how are you? Tell me a little bit about the room that you're in.
Morning, Jen, and welcome from the sunny and very warm state of Arizona. It's good to see you again. I'm standing in the control room of our new Technology and Media Center in Tempe, Arizona. This represented a $250 million strategic investment on Fox's part, and it is the hub of our digital data broadcast and streaming operations. We service over 200 of our affiliate and owned and operated TV stations, our MVPD partners like Hulu and Dish and DirecTV, and also our streaming partners, Apple, Amazon Prime, and the like.
It was amazing to have an opportunity, Jeff, to see this with you in person a few weeks ago. Now let's bring in Paul too. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you back at PagerDuty Summit.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Paul, can you share how the Tech Center and PagerDuty tie back to Fox's overall digital and technology strategy?
Sure. I'm sure, like many of your probably all of your customers, actually, Jen, we're going through a massive business transformation, and technology is a really key part of that. It's driving a lot of the change, but also enabling a lot of new business models. And a couple of years ago, as a management team, we decided to fast track that and try and shed our legacy systems, platforms, and technologies within a compressed period of time, and also really reinvent the team that we've got working across our organization, and break down the silos and integrate our enterprise teams with our broadcast and media teams, with our data teams, and with our digital streaming teams. And historically, those would all be in different parts of the organization, and we really took a hard look at that and took a very software-centric approach, and we invested heavily in our systems and heavily in our teams. The team today, 60% of the team we've got within our technology organization have joined the company in the last 2 years. So massive change, and a really important part of that was having a very strong horizontal approach to operations across all of that replatforming that we were doing. It would have been a missed opportunity not to have really kind of taken a more robust approach to resilience, speed and agility, but also shifting from that reactive mode that a lot of operations find themselves in, not just to proactive, but to predictive. And we had that at the center of our objectives. And our number one KPI, or OKR, as we call it internally here within Fox, is operational integrity. That comes first before any of the other things, whether it's digital revenues or the products and data that we use. And you know, Jen, I know you remember this moment, but we were looking for a partner to come on that journey with us, and you and I sat down in LA, and you had a great solution for part of that picture, but we kind of worked with you on that journey to get to where we've got to, and it's been hugely productive. And I'm pleased to say we hit all of the deadlines, and we're up and running and live, as Jeff standing in the new facility is testament to that.
Wow, thank you, Paul. I love that Fox has also really pushed us in a roadmap and leveraged event intelligence, integrating your physical, digital, and network environments all together. Now, Jeff, when I was in Phoenix a few weeks ago, you told me a story about a disaster your team averted and how PagerDuty played a key role.
Absolutely. So this is a very cool PagerDuty story. So we had approximately 18 months to build out this building, and it's built to almost military specifications because of our role as a national news, sports, and entertainment network. So we have our own data center in the building, which is fully integrated to a wide array of Amazon Elemental services. And we consider the building, the facility, our data center, our Amazon cloud partnership as one single entity. And as Paul mentioned, resiliency was foremost in our mind when we embarked on this project. So all of the broadcast, digital streaming data services can be serviced out of the facility or out of Amazon, who was a strategic partner throughout this project. And because we had accelerated the construction of the building, we were going live as it was still being built, and we're doing some work in the data center, and one of the trades accidentally drilled through the wall and into a PVC water pipe. Well, we had outfitted the raised floor and underneath the data center in our broadcast operations center with flood sensors from Liebert, Liquitech 460s, I think were their brand. And we had fully integrated PagerDuty event intelligence into those flood sensors, as we have with all of our SCADA and industrial control systems, again, because we consider this as a single operation or entity. And when the pipe was drilled through, started flooding underneath our operations center and underneath the data center. And because of the event intelligence and the hook in with PagerDuty and our BMS system, we were able to get alerted within 30 seconds, and not only alerted of a flood condition, but we actually knew what would be impacted with kind of the blast radius of that potential flood. And in this case, it was some RF equipment for our satellite uplink facility 4 miles away. So that would not have been a good situation if gone unnoticed. But because of PagerDuty, we're able to react and shut that down within 30 seconds. And I think we avoided a catastrophe. And that one incident, I think the recovery cost, had that been worse, we saved much more than we paid for what we pay for PagerDuty. So that was right off the bat, as soon as we went live, great PagerDuty story, and it only reinforces for us the need to tie together everything in your operation, from digital to streaming, the data to your SCADA industrial control systems, because they're just an important component for us because of the importance of this facility than any of our technology and cloud systems. So it was a great story, and I wanted to thank you and your company very, very much for delivering as promised.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And you and your team have been phenomenal partners for us and deserve an immense amount of credit for the way you've broken down silos and integrated your building management, connected your teams, and automated your entire response. Paul, I'm curious about the advice you'd have for organizations that are considering putting PagerDuty at the center of their operations.
Well, I think my advice would be to be bold, and a business transformation and a technology transformation without an operational transformation is not just a missed opportunity. I think it leads to probably a poor outcome and an unsustainable position. So, PagerDuty has been that integral backbone and spine. We call it the fabric, the operational fabric within our organization. It sits in front of quite a complex, fragmented landscape of data and other platforms and systems that are there. And it's the place where the data comes together, we orchestrate it there, and then we automate the actions out of it. And Jeff's example wasn't the use case we imagined being the primary use of PagerDuty initially, but it's been, every day it provides value in that framework. And we are truly in this predictive position now where we can foresee issues prior to them occurring or causing the damage and blast radius that Jeff talks about. And we value your partnership greatly, Jen, and thank you for all of your support and leadership.
Well, thank you, Paul and Jeff, so much for your vision and partnership. We're truly honored to be part of this transformation. And you all at Fox are really setting the benchmark for integrating operations in service of your customer and your business outcomes. And we know your company legacy traces back 106 years. You two have led a transformation that will enable Fox to thrive for another century. We're just thrilled to be a part of your journey. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Organizational resilience is your customer's currency, and availability creates customer trust. In a recent IDC survey, more than 70% of IT decision makers named digital resiliency as the top priority for the coming year. Amy Smiditz from Netflix Engineering is here today to share how her team and Netflix rely on PagerDuty to ensure the reliability of their platform, one that many of us spent a lot of time on last year. The way we work has changed for good. Employees want the freedom that comes with flexibility. Teams are now distributed across geographies and time zones, managing increasingly complex digital ecosystems. You must be able to respond to customer needs instantly and remediate incidents affecting the customer experience immediately. The old model of centralized ticketing systems for customer service doesn't support the future of work. The old model risks a customer-facing outage lasting far longer than it needs to. Our customer Pantheon is a web ops platform that guarantees 4 nines of uptime on websites getting more than 10 billion page hits a month. Their distributed customer service team uses PagerDuty to automatically escalate and resolve incidents so they always hit their SLAs. Today, we're rolling out a new PagerDuty business plan specifically for customer service teams to speed your enterprise response to anything affecting your customer experience. If the first challenge is resilience, the second is facilitating true connection. Your organization's ability to connect teams and services gives you the power to predict and plan rather than react. Organizations today utilize hundreds of interconnected digital services. This enables faster innovation, but the trade-off is a lack of visibility into how a change in one part of the digital ecosystem affects the others. Many teams try to embrace a full service ownership approach to DevOps to facilitate a customer-centric view for building, deploying, and managing services. We've championed this approach at PagerDuty for over a decade, but the transition is hard. Breaking down silos, removing bottlenecks, holding teams accountable for high-quality code, while also providing autonomy to prioritize their work is a really difficult balance. Canada's largest retailer, Loblaw's purpose is to empower their customers to live life well. Jaspal Sani, their Senior Director of SRE and Tech Platforms, said it best. With PagerDuty, we've been able to embrace a full service ownership model for developers. But they didn't stop there. When they needed to move to an integrated model to manage food safety product safety recalls and protect their brand, they used PagerDuty. Check out Jaspal in his session, How to Eat an Elephant, telling the Loblaw story. Both of Loblaw's use cases start with the same challenge. It's impossible for humans to navigate large, complex organizations and digital ecosystems when time is their greatest enemy. Today, we are thrilled to announce PagerDuty's new product, our Service Graph, a holistic map of your business and technical service relationships that will empower full service ownership across your teams. Service Graph segments out the areas of your organization that are most meaningful or most problematic and directly links to the data sources driving these processes. Best of all, you can easily create new connections between business and technical services, providing comprehensive control over the technology, the people, and the services that drive your business's success. Our Chief Product Officer, Sean Scott, will show you Service Graph in action later this morning. The final trend, and one of the hottest in business right now, is automation. We've entered the era of automation when it comes to all things work. In a recent survey, more than 2/3 of you felt your jobs would be as or more complex in an era of hybrid work. I agree. We need to find new ways to prioritize collaboration across teams and time zones. We need to assemble incident-specific groups of experts in real time. We have several sessions this week discussing the future of work, including a discussion featuring Hayden Brown, the CEO of Upwork, and Michelle Zaitlin, the co-founder and COO of Cloudflare, that you don't want to miss. Last September, we announced the acquisition of Rundeck. Today, we're announcing Runbook Actions that not only identify and predict incidents, they actually handle urgent work safely, either augmenting human effort or automating without the need for human intervention. This channels your teams towards innovation, fewer wasted hours, and fewer escalations, all while improving safety, quality, and incident response time. This is automation in service of your expertise. As one customer said before their teams implemented PagerDuty, We monitor everything, but we see nothing. It's the digital equivalent of being lost and lonely in a crowd. Not anymore. 5 years ago, I stood on a much smaller stage in front of a much smaller audience. We were a much smaller private company with less than 200 employees and about 35 million in annual revenue. I told you then that if software was eating the world, then soon developers would be running it. Well, here we are. Today, PagerDuty is nearly 300 million in ARR company with 13,600 customers. We are the platform for real-time work. Back then, we also set out to scale our impact on our people, our communities, and our environment. In 2017, we made the 1% pledge. We launched PagerDuty.org in 2018 and funded our philanthropic efforts through our IPO in 2019. During 2020, we delivered funding to more than 400 organizations through PagerDuty.org. Our employees spent more than 2,860 hours volunteering, and we kicked off a variety of initiatives to advance time-critical healthcare and support just and equitable communities. Our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion is unwavering. It is part of our mission, our culture, and our business strategy. We are more innovative, higher performing, and more impactful when we reflect the diverse communities we serve. We scale our impact when we pair donations and grant funding with access to our expertise and our platform to help organizations do life-saving work more effectively. Recently, we partnered with Salesforce, Workday, and Pledge 1% to found the Go Give One campaign, an international alliance that supports equitable distribution of 2 billion vaccine doses within the next year. Today, we're announcing our first award partners as part of our $1 million commitment to funding and product to ensure COVID-19 vaccines reach the most underserved communities around the globe. Congratulations to Care Message, Code Tenderline, and Visione y Compromiso. I invite you to spend the next several days learning, interacting, and sharing best practices. But more than that, I challenge each of you to ask how your organization can enable flexibility, connect to everything, connect to everyone, and automate everything possible. And I challenge you to bring a new level of focus on your customers. Speaking of focusing on customers, I'm delighted to welcome my good friend and next guest, Kim Hammonds. Kim serves on the board of directors at Tenable, Box, Zoom, and UiPath. She most recently served as the Group Chief Operating Officer of Deutsche Bank AG, where she was the third female in the company's 150-year history to serve on the management board. I'm very proud to call her a friend. Kim, welcome. Let's get right into it.
Hi, Jen.
Hi. So you've led digital transformation efforts at multiple companies, but many of those efforts were accelerated dramatically in the last year and a half. How far have we come in the shift to digital first, and how far do we still have to go?
I think, we've come a long way, as we heard from the Fox story. I was having a bit of a heart palpitation from the flooding that they avoided in the data center. We still have a long way to go. So I would say, the focus is really 4 or 5 things. If you think about it, setting in the seat of leading one of these digital transformation. One is everything must work. So uptime, availability, 5 nines, resiliency, disaster recovery, everything must work. Second is cybersecurity. So there's still, every day, everyone in the world is dealing with cybersecurity threats, and that has to be really top of mind. And most companies have 50 to 60 applications that they're trying to amalgamate to understand cybersecurity threats. So there's still a ton of opportunity there. And then I would say, third and fourth would be the whole customer experience. So putting the customer at the center of everything. Do you know what your customers are feeling? Do you know what they want? Do you know what they care about? Are you serving them through SMS, through email? What are the channels? How do you know the customer quality? So I'd say that's the third. And then the fourth is data. Data is fueling everything. And like you said, it's just this notion of, do you understand your data? And can you really assimilate what's happening with the data and figure out how to use the data to create new business models and better serve your customers. So I think we've come a long way. You know, when I was running these big organizations, PagerDuty wasn't there. So thank you for being there now. But there's just a ton of work to do, and using technology, enabling your teams to use the technology to better serve their customers and create a better work environment is really what it's all about.
I really appreciate your comments, and we certainly see that across our customers, where most of our largest organizations are frankly just getting started. The last year did accelerate a lot of transformation, but there's still so much more to do, and that means there's still significant opportunity in every one of our customers across our customer base for us to partner with them and help them on their journey. So we're increasingly working in highly regulated areas like financial services and healthcare. And I'm interested, because you spent a little bit of time in banking, like, are there particular challenges to digital transformation in these types of industries?
Yeah, I would say banking, you know, my experience, so I've worked in 4 industries when I was working full time. And so automotive, aerospace and defense, technology, and then banking. And the experience in banking is it's highly regulated, lots of compliance to oversee, lots of new regulations. So there are 50 to 60 regulators around the world that you're working to serve and ensure that the organization is ultimately compliant to the laws. And so that's a key challenge. Second is these organizations are 100-plus-year-old companies. So there's a big portion of legacy infrastructure and applications. So thousands of applications, thousands of processes, thousands of kind of points of the infrastructure. So moving these companies to cloud computing, moving and having hybrid cloud computing is super important, because some of the content needs to still be in-house in data centers, in your own data centers, but allowing hybrid cloud computing with cloud computing. So that's super key. Second is cybersecurity protection, because if you lose trust and you don't have that trust from a safety, security, and resilience standpoint, you know, customers will just go to another company, and the regulators get extremely unhappy if you have availability issues and security issues. So that is super critical. And the other kind of the last point is just digital transformation. So how are you serving your customers in a digital first way? So mobile banking, mobile mortgage setup, mobile private wealth management, allowing electronic signatures. All of that enables better serving your customers in a fast way. And I would say the last point is automation of processes. So there are thousands of these processes that help the bank run, and whether it's trade processing, payment processing, et cetera. And how do you automate those processes such that your employees can do higher value work? And that is a journey that all of these banks are in around the world. And it's just a big opportunity. And I would say the banks are just going through this transformation to better serve their customers in really a digital first way.
Well, we have certainly seen that, particularly in our financial services customers and some of our more industrial segments that we serve. That complexity that you talk about, that's driven by compliance, the regulatory environment, and increasingly security, has been driving a lot of growth in the security operations use case on our platform. And all of that really sort of articulates how challenging it is for people on the front lines of digital operations, because they manage a lot of this under time pressure, under a lot of stress, and really focused on building PagerDuty for those people, for the people that are responsible for the great experiences that all of us have grown to depend on. Kim, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you. I always learn something, and I look forward to seeing you at the next board meeting. Thank you so much for being with us at PagerDuty Summit.
Thank you, Jen, for all you do.
No worries. So it was great to hear from Kim, and a perfect segue as she talks about the challenges of financial services in the banking industry. So I'm thrilled to bring my next guest on before I toss it over to Sean Scott, and to welcome David Solomon. David is the chairman and CEO of the Goldman Sachs Group. Previously, he was the president and COO. He's been with Goldman Sachs since 1999, and he's also, I have to say, a pretty fantastic DJ. You should look out for his performances. Most recently, he's been the driving force between the firm's rapid shift towards digital first, and I'm thrilled to welcome David and our partner from Goldman Sachs. David, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I am great, thank you. It's wonderful to see you. I hope I'll get to see you sometime in New York soon.
I hope so too.
Well, look, we all know the world's gone digital pretty rapidly. Are there any particular initiatives or business changes within Goldman Sachs that have accelerated as a result of this shift in customers' and clients' needs and expectations? And how do you expect those needs and expectations to evolve over the next 5 years?
So I appreciate being here with you today. There's no question what's happened over the last 15 months has accelerated digital trends in finance. Strategically, as I know you're aware, we've been building a consumer platform that's an all digital consumer platform. We've built it from scratch over the last 5 years. We have over $100 billion of digital deposits without ever having opened a bank branch anywhere, which would make us, somewhere between the 10th and 15th largest bank in the United States by deposits. And one of the things we saw during the pandemic is an acceleration in uptake for this digital access. So strategically, it's been an area of focus for us, but there's no question that one of the things that happened through the pandemic is we pulled stuff forward. We saw an acceleration, and certainly our strategic emphasis is benefiting from that, I think, a little bit.
Well, I talked in my keynote about digital acceleration, and now it's really just the way business is getting done. So as you've accelerated all of these shifts in a pretty highly regulated industry, how have you balanced the need for velocity with the absolute need for business continuity? And how has PagerDuty helped you to manage those risks?
Well, there's no question that by using PagerDuty, we've been able to connect our engineers much more simultaneously so that they can avoid problems and stop problems in advance or counter them much more quickly. But if you think about our business, we operate in a world where our clients are increasingly demanding 24/7 access, 24/7 connectivity. They want the quality of that experience to be world-class the whole way along. In a regulated industry, you can have a very low fault threshold. You really can't have mistakes in a regulated industry. So we've obviously been dealing with that. We see it in our consumer platform that I talked to you about. We see it in our institutional digital platform, Marquee, where institutional clients connect into us digitally. And we are trying to make sure that we use tools like PagerDuty to make sure that our engineers are connected in on a real-time basis so they can troubleshoot as we try to provide that digital connectivity on a much more regular basis to our clients and our customers.
That's awesome. And we have been thrilled to work with your team. I mean, it's just a tremendous leadership organization. We've seen lots of transformation within Goldman Sachs' IT organization as you've really worked on platforming in service of improving your customer experiences. One of the issues we're talking a lot about at Summit is the future of work. Everything from the rise of hybrid workplaces to worker expectations. Can you talk about your thinking on return to the office and the future of work more generally? And how do you plan to accommodate your workforce interacting increasingly with clients who are in a hybrid distributed model?
Sure. And, the first thing I just have to say is I am not an expert on the future of work by any stretch. I do think I'm pretty well informed on how Goldman Sachs needs to work to serve its clients and be very effective. And so Goldman Sachs, continues to be an organization, given the nature of our business, that is centered around coming together, innovating together in a physical presence, not exclusively, not without flexibility. Lots of flexibility existed before the pandemic, and flexibility will exist outside. But I'm very focused on making sure we're serving our clients at the highest level. It requires great digital platforms, but in our particular business, it requires, and you said this yourself, our team, is connected with you. It requires, our team to be present a lot of times physically, either together or with clients. And so we have to strike a balance. The digital tools enable more flexibility and more mobility. We've always had a large portion of the workforce that travels to be present with clients, and the digitization of the world is helping make them more effective while they're moving around and traveling. And so these are all trends that were firmly in place before the pandemic and are continuing as we move after the pandemic. For Goldman Sachs, I don't think Goldman Sachs is going to look that different, but there's no question the acceleration of some of these digital trends and the digital tools that we've been building along the way is helping us be more effective in serving our clients.
For sure. And we see the distribution of your teams, but we're also excited to see you in person soon. I mean, all of this video conferencing is, it's enough. It's a lot. One last quick question. How do you see consumer or your customer behavior shifting as they engage with your business? And how do you want to engage with your clients differently as a result of it?
Well, we have a small consumer business, but we're very committed to building a big digital platform and adding that to the broad context of what Goldman Sachs is. Goldman Sachs has always been, for 150 years, an institutional firm. Our primary clients were governments, large corporations, institutions. We now are doing more with individuals because the digital world enabled us to participate with a clean sheet of paper and provide tools that can help them integrate their financial lives. I'm a big believer that we have an enormous digital disruption of consumer financial services that's now taking hold. It's been slower than the disruption we've seen in other spaces because of the regulatory construct of the business. But there's no question it's accelerating, and I think there are going to be enormous opportunities. I think what consumers want to be able to do is to manage their financial lives in a much more seamless way through digital applications with a lot less friction, and they want to do it off the platforms that they're spending time on, not exclusively on banking platforms. And we think we're well positioned to participate in those trends as they take much firmer hold over the course of the next decade.
I loved a lot of the words you used, David. Seamless, frictionless. I think this is something all consumers expect and appreciate from Goldman Sachs. And as a client and a partner, we certainly appreciate the relationship that we have with you and are thrilled to be part of your journey. So thank you so much for your partnership. I hope that I'll get to see you soon. And rumor has it you might be doing a little DJing in Napa. Is that right?
There's a rumor about that, but we'll see. But that's the current plan.
Well, it's fantastic to have you here today. Thank you again, and please pass on my thanks to your team. It was great seeing you, David.
Absolutely. Great to see you, Jennifer, and thanks to your team for your partnership. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we've covered a great deal in the last 40 minutes. Our partners at Fox Broadcasting saving their physical and data infrastructure because of quick action driven by a PagerDuty integration. Conversations with two amazing industry leaders. What a way to kick off PagerDuty Summit. Now it's time for you to hear from our Chief Product Officer, Sean Scott, on the new products we're launching today and more about our vision for our product roadmap. Thank you to all the Daytonians whose work has made today possible on the product, engineering, and event sides, and to all of our teams in every corner of the organization. Thank you especially to our customers, our partners, and our users. You've come through the most challenging year in decades, stronger and more resilient than ever, and we are proud to be there with you. And with that, I'd like to welcome PagerDuty's Chief Product Officer, Sean Scott.
Hello, my name is Sean Scott, and I'm the Chief Product Officer here at PagerDuty. As always, with our product sessions, we have our safe harbor. Familiarize yourself with it, and if you have additional questions, you can find the full version in the terms of use on our platform. I left a long career at Amazon, where I was responsible for much of the shopping experience and more recently building and launching delivery bots. But I left that to join PagerDuty because it was clear entire industries were shifting towards a digital-first world. And I recognize the pivotal role PagerDuty plays in this shift. More importantly, I see a much broader future our platform will play going forward in digital operations. My interest actually started last summit when Jonathan Rindy walked us through the massive changes that were occurring as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Maybe it should be referred to as the great accelerator of our industry because digital transformation has been accelerating at unprecedented rates ever since. COVID was the inflection point where this sometimes distant goal of digital first has become a necessity, and companies have been forced to adapt to simply stay relevant. When faced with these disruptive changes, some have struggled, but others were prepared and truly benefited from this radical shift in business, and they are the ones that rose to the top. New household names like Zoom, DoorDash, and Ocado have been cemented. These digital leaders were well positioned and ready for the changes that were coming. Now, their approach to product and services are table stakes for our new normal. In fact, according to Gartner, 83% of CEOs in 2021 say that digitalization is their top priority, up from 50% in 2018. Digital is now a necessity as we transition into a new era of business. Your customers expect an immediate, delightful, and perfect experience. And if they don't get it, they'll leave. But it's important to note that digital is the means, not the end. The customer experience is the end. 451 research stated that while cloud platforms have seen the largest increase in spending, customer experience delivery investments are in the top spot with 68% of businesses increasing budgets. Why? As the shock of the pandemic fades, business priorities are shifting from filling immediate technology gaps to meet the sudden surge in digital experiences to investing in strategic technologies that build engagement and loyalty for a post-pandemic world. And the PagerDuty platform provides a unique view on this digital ecosystem. Leveraging the data that helps our customers drive their operations, we are publishing platform-wide observations and trends quarterly for the world. And this will culminate in our annual State of Digital Operations report. This inaugural report provides key insights derived from our over 13,000 PagerDuty customers. And we found some interesting things. For example, we found a 21% year-over-year increase in critical incidents between 2019 and 2021. Each incident, on average, takes 2 hours to resolve and costs organizations over $150,000 per year to manage. And that's on top of the cost of the business being down, which can run well into the millions of dollars per incident. We also found last year responders were working more irregularly, with over a third of them working an extra 2 hours per day to deal with issues around the clock. And we know that when people are overworked, they're more likely to quit their jobs. We're publishing a preview today with our first report coming in a month, and we're excited to continue to drive your digital maturity with it. Perhaps the biggest news last September was that we announced the acquisition of Rundeck. We heard from our customers they needed to reduce toil, reduce escalations, and democratize the maintenance and support across their operations. So we've invested in that need. With Rundeck team and automation integrated, our customers are already seeing the value in the form of reduced incident resolution times and reduced interruptions for developers. 6 months later, we're continuing to deliver major innovations with the merging of this technology on the PagerDuty platform. We'll talk more about this in just a minute. PagerDuty is critical infrastructure that many of the world's largest companies rely on for their digital operations, including 60% of the Fortune 100. As Jen noted in her keynote, these efforts include accelerating cloud migration, DevOps adoption, and digital transformation. To demonstrate this, I've asked my friend Dave Duvall from Discovery to tell us about what it takes to launch their entirely new service, Discovery Plus. And for their encore performance, they're delivering the world's next Olympics entirely digitally. Let's hear from Dave on what it takes to pull this off.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Duvall, Chief Information Officer at Discovery. Discovery is the global leader in real-life entertainment, delivering over 8,000 hours of original programming each year across cable, streaming services, and mobile-first formats. Our brands include Discovery Channel, HGTV, and Eurosport, where we'll be broadcasting the Olympics across Europe this summer. We launched our streaming service Discovery Plus in January, and we view it as strategic to our growth. Our exclusive premium content has helped to drive rapid adoption, with millions of subscribers joining the service since launch. We have to seamlessly deliver content at every hour of every day across any device to keep our customers engaged. So availability is critical to customer experience. That's why PagerDuty is so critical to us. With PagerDuty, we're able to stay ahead of issues so that our customers are not impacted while they enjoy their shows. We are able to connect everyone critical to key events like the Olympics, standardizing services and team configurations so that notification and escalation paths are easily understood. We're able to connect everything needed to ensure great customer experience across devices, clouds, and software stacks. Bringing responders and stakeholders together to a common interface and control plane, We were able to standardize incident response process and simplify communications. And we gained a lot of flexibility with workflows, setting up teams and services the way we want so that we immediately know who's responsible for what at a moment's notice. We're leveraging extensive extensions and integrations to ensure responders can work the most effectively, improving resolution times. Finally, we don't have unlimited resources. Nobody does. So using PagerDuty's automation has been really helpful in terms of reducing workload for the teams so that they're not unnecessarily disrupted. It's been quite a journey with PagerDuty, and we value the partnership and support. Thank you. And back to you, Sean.
Thanks, Dave. And I look forward to watching some Olympic cycling in the next few weeks. With the right tools assembled, PagerDuty is now delivering on our broader vision. This vision consists of 4 pillars: flexible workflows, connect everyone, connect everything, and automate what can be automated. Let's dive into what this means for our customers. Deliver flexibility. It's amazing to hear about all the new stories on how our customers are using PagerDuty today. Beyond core DevOps, we hear about legal compliance, security event orchestration, IoT device management, to even organ transplant delivery. Connect everyone. The entire organization must be working together to deliver an excellent customer experience. That's because incident response involves so much more than just mobilizing tech team. It also means keeping stakeholders and business leaders informed and arming customer-facing teams with the business-critical information they need to keep their customers happy. One use case that has had the most impact time and time again is customer service operations. Our customers have seen so much value from utilizing PagerDuty for this purpose that we are increasing investment to deliver more powerful capabilities in this space. Connect everything. One of PagerDuty's greatest strengths is our ecosystems. We can quickly integrate to the most complex homegrown environments without an army of consultants. Over 550 out-of-the-box integrations, you can quickly start receiving event data from apps like Datadog, and we meet our customers wherever they work in apps like Slack and MS Teams. We've even seen companies leveraging our integrations to build entirely new businesses. Lastly, automate everything. With Rundeck technology fully embedded into PagerDuty and into the incident response workflow, customers can now automate away the toil. Complexities for responders is growing. Efficiency through automation is key in not only improving availability, but also in preventing costs from growing exponentially. With everything and everyone connected straight through to the customer, you create more ownership of the customer experience, which provides employees with a tangible connection to the business outcomes and to the bottom line. This in turn keeps your customers and internal customers working, efficient, and happy. PagerDuty is the de facto standard digital operations platform that serves as a central control point for time-critical and business-critical work across an organization. We help teams accelerate digital initiatives, communicate and collaborate more effectively, and automate redundant work in real time so that you can focus on providing the best possible customer experience. And with our latest innovations, it only gets better. At Summit this year, we're delivering on these 4 goals and taking you through a deep dive over the next few days on how our latest product launch makes it all possible. The first thing we'll help you do is automate urgent work. As we discussed, adding automation to our platform was critical. This means getting the work done, not just alerting on it or tracking it, but identifying, categorizing, solving, and often even preventing it. Our customers have been so excited about Rundeck technology that they've asked to inject the same powerful capability directly into the PagerDuty interface. And today, I'm happy to unveil a new product, PagerDuty Runbook Actions. Runbook Actions is our first offering that combines both PagerDuty and Rundeck technology. This new add-on equips responders with automation they can use to diagnose and resolve incidents themselves directly within the PagerDuty interface. Now, responders can speed up the resolution of incidents by taking actions like using safely delegated scripts, system commands, and even Rundeck jobs. This means developers will see fewer interrupts from escalations. One of our amazing customers, Trimble, is already seeing the value of connecting Rundeck and PagerDuty together. Let's hear from Andrea Valente, Director of Cloud Engineering for Trimble Program and Project Management, to learn what he thinks about Runbook Actions.
Thank you for having us at PagerDuty Summit. I'm Andrea Valente, Director of Cloud Operation Infrastructure at Trimble. PagerDuty helped us into transforming into one single cloud operation team operating a merged portfolio of applications. It helped us to identify a single idea of incident across multiple teams. With Rundeck, we were able to automate our standard operating procedure and delegate them to the requester, thus shortening the life cycle from weeks to even 2 minutes. With both tools together, we were able to introduce auto-remediation and limit the impact of night calls to the team and shorten the mean time to recovery. We are now looking at Runbook Action to deploy even more automation. If you are interested in our story, please join us at our session here at the PagerDuty Summit. Thank you.
Love it. Our next new capability is an innovative application in full service ownership. Full service ownership is the build it, own it model for engineers and tech teams owning their code in production and connecting it to business outcomes. Whether you're moving to full service ownership, breaking down a monolith into services and aligning them to teams, or you've mastered it already, the result is better code, faster incident response, and a competitive advantage through faster innovation. But to truly own your services, the first step is simply being able to identify and understand what you actually own and what your dependencies are. Customers love our service directory and ability to map technologies, humans, and technical services. But one of our top requests was getting that into real-time view for teams of all types. That's why I'm thrilled to announce our new dynamic service graph. It lets our customers instantly map and visualize business and technical service dependencies across their environment. Now you can view the health of your services at a glance or assess the impact radius of an incident to more quickly zero in on probable cause. Our event intelligence team has been focused on change events and categorizing incidents in real time. After we tackled noise reduction and false alarms, you asked us to accelerate root cause identification. Our event intelligence team is entirely focused on improving your mean time to resolution. Imagine waking up tomorrow after a PagerDuty software release and your MTTR has automatically gone down as a result of these new features. Change correlations saves you time during root cause analysis by surfacing the changes that most likely caused the incident based on time, related services, and machine learning analysis of similar incidents. This enables you to identify the root cause faster by eliminating irrelevant changes and identifying the potential contributing factor. Incident outliers helps you detect anomalies using historical incident data and labels them as rare, novel, or frequent. This allows you to focus on more challenging incidents or proactively address more frequent alerts with automated remediation. Lastly, and most importantly, we're extending PagerDuty across the enterprise to new people and new use cases. I'm thrilled to announce a strategic partnership with our friends at Salesforce to deliver a new PagerDuty application for Salesforce Service Cloud. This new partnership delivers a powerful PagerDuty experience directly inside Service Cloud for frontline customer service agents and key internal stakeholders. The product includes a status dashboard and console to instantly make agents and stakeholders aware of customer impacting outages and provides workflow automation to immediately engage Tier 2 and Tier 3 experts as well as dev teams. All of this adds new value to professional level customer service plan announced last year and will be integrated into a new business level customer service plan as well. This helps distinguish between capabilities like response plays, new round robin scheduling workflows, help desk integration, and monitoring integrations for support engineers. Now that you've heard about some of the latest and greatest innovations from PagerDuty, let's take a look at all this new functionality in action as we watch a day in the life of a major retailer during their biggest sale of the year.
It's the evening before Hoffman's big annual sale. Early bird shoppers are already queued up on the streets or are at home eagerly hitting refresh on their browsers. They're excited about advertised specials, hoping to swiftly snap up the limited quantities of the most popular children's toys, trending video game consoles, and designer apparel. Fluid fleet logistics and location dispatch are vital to the success of retail business on such a paramount day. Working all day and night, delivery drivers are transporting stock from our warehouses to retail outlets. Inventory teams are managing stock. Customer service teams are fully engaged to ensure customers will experience nothing less than excellence. Systems engineers are on standby, ready to respond and resolve any unanticipated infrastructure issues due to this seasonal spike in traffic. Platform engineers are monitoring all aspects of their e-commerce platforms and their buyers' end-to-end journey. And our CIO is proactively checking all digital channels to ensure a successful day. And now the evening unfolds. The delivery driver is on his way to the retail outlet. when suddenly Noah, the inventory operations engineer, notices the truck has come to a standstill.
Uh-oh, looks like there's an issue with one of our deliveries. This truck hasn't moved for 5 minutes already. I'll handle this. Good thing I designed a response play for circumstances like this. After 5 minutes, this type of issue is escalated to higher urgency. Through PagerDuty's event-triggered webhooks, we automatically dispatched roadside assistance to that stalled truck. We also proactively sent the next scheduled delivery early to ensure that stock is delivered on time to the store.
With just one click, Noah runs a response play to automatically engage additional teams, initiate a conference bridge just in case it's needed, and inform stakeholders of current status.
Priority 1 response play executed. There is no time to waste.
Well informed by additional grouped incidents about increasing engine temperature, the repairman will proceed to fix the problem as soon as the engine cools down.
Oh, good. Turns out the mechanic got our stalled truck running again really quickly. Now we can slot its load back into today's delivery schedule. Time to close this incident out. Good thing our next delivery was ready to go and we could send it out early to the store. Having no stock available for customers to buy would have meant lost revenue on our biggest day of the year.
Always on and always prepared in the moment of hypercare via round-robin scheduling, several teams of systems engineers will have all 5 floors of the flagship store covered in the event of any surprises that occur during opening hours. Still, hours before the store opens, Miyoko, a systems engineer, is covering the night shift when suddenly she receives a P1 notification from PagerDuty on her mobile phone.
Oh no, New York payment terminals are unable to process orders. Good thing we're catching this early in off hours. Let's get this fixed fast before our customers are impacted in the morning. I'll quickly run this P1 response play to let the stakeholders, executives, and especially customer service operations team know that orders can't be processed and there's potential risk to customers. Yikes. This can't calculate sales tax P1 seems related. Glad I engaged the platform engineering team from the play. They can further investigate and fix this quickly.
Ronaldo, the platform engineer who is on call and is already working on the issue with the sales tax API, views the PagerDuty service graph. It helps him visualize the business and technical service dependencies across the entire digital ecosystem and assess the impact radius of the incident.
Wow, that sales tax service is impacting the in-store RFID and payment devices just at the New York store, but luckily not our web or mobile channels. Unfortunately, this has been happening frequently. This change seems like an accident. No web or mobile change events. Also, PagerDuty's machine learning is suggesting that this problem's actually occurred before, so this update shouldn't have happened.
Over the next 5 minutes, thanks to PagerDuty Runbook automation that helps automate manual tasks, what could have taken over 30 minutes to execute, Ronaldo accomplishes in little time. He views the automation options and decides to run a few Runbook actions. First, he quickly confirms the root cause with some diagnostics.
Almost done. I'll execute this runbook action to roll back to the last successful update instead. Great, the rollback was successful.
Meanwhile, our customer service operations representative who is on call also joins in.
I'll subscribe to this incident and stand by. It's better for me to be proactive and ready to send out an apology to customers along with a discount coupon just in case checkout isn't restored in time for the store opening. We need to keep Hoffman's a place for happy customers.
Ronaldo heads to the kitchen for a cup of coffee and hops onto Slack on his mobile phone to send a response note.
The rollback to 2.0 was successful.
Miyoko and Ronaldo resolve their incidents.
RFID checkout is restored with no impact to customers.
Now back to business as usual. I'll get started on that postmortem soon. I'll make sure to include some timeline activity from Slack, Ronaldo's remediation activity, especially those runbook actions, and other important details useful to the management and our new hires like Olivia.
Our CIO, Ava, has recently been promoted given her recent success with the retailer's digital transformation. This is her first time as CIO on such a big annual sale day, a critical defining moment. With ongoing conference calls throughout the day, she's kept up to date on all critical business services through PagerDuty's status dashboard and stakeholder updates.
Not flawless, but not completely unexpected on such a busy day. I'll take no impact to customers as well as minimal response costs associated with the P1 over no inventory or unhappy customers.
As the day ends, Ava puts her feet up to rest, assesses the operational risk for the day, and rejoices over this year's increased revenue and lower responder costs. PagerDuty was our retailer's lifeline for managing mission-critical real-time work. Today would have been an absolute disaster without PagerDuty to manage our entire operations at scale on the most crucial day of the year.
So much goodness there. Mastering digital operations means making sure you deliver an excellent customer experience. We start with the customer and work backwards, laser focused on earning and keeping our customers' trust. As a Chief Product Officer at PagerDuty, I plan to continue to drive those principles for years to come. When you prioritize the customer and align your business around critical services and work, not only do you move faster, but you strengthen your position for long-term success. Companies that invest in digital and prioritize the customer experience are the ones that will be the leaders for the next decade. PagerDuty is the critical infrastructure, the brain at the center of digital operations. We are the leader in real-time work and will continue in the future the operations cloud for the enterprise. We've been doing this for over a decade, shepherding some of the world's largest companies. And we haven't just customized the ticketing workflow, we've disrupted it by investing in truly solving digital roadblocks for our customers. PagerDuty is the partner that will make you a digital winner. And together, we can deliver the perfect customer experience. Thank you.